Welcome. In front of me is a Motorola Moto G67, and today I'll show you how you can enable and also set up your portable hotspot. So, to get started, you will first want to swipe down from the top of your screen or top right side of the screen if you have a separation between toggles and notifications. I have it combined, so it doesn't matter which side I do it from. Now when you swipe down again, it will extend the list of visible toggles, and somewhere in here we should be able to find our portable hotspot toggle. For me, it is located on the second page right over here, but if you can't find it anywhere, you could click right here on this pencil, swipe down to anything that is below this text right here, and every toggle below right here is a toggle that you can add to that list. So in here you'd be looking for your hotspot toggle. Once you find it, grab it by holding it, and the text right here, as you can see, changes, and now you can just drag it around above, drop it, and it will be added to the list. So once it's added to the list, first time around, hold it, and this will take you to the settings. Now I would recommend going in here at least once, just because under the hotspot password you'll be able to see the fully randomly generated password, and without navigating here you have no way of knowing what it is set to. I will be just straight up removing it and adding my own new password. So 1 through 8. Now I'm setting up very simple one, but it will need to have at least 8 characters in length, and that can be letters, numbers, both. It doesn't really matter. Make sure you click on OK to save the change. Then we have some other options which you can change around here if you want to, like for instance the hotspot name, which by default is the name of the phone. Security, I would recommend keeping as it is, as this ensures that the hotspot actually has a password, so not anyone can connect freely to it. And below that we have also speed and compatibility with 2 options, 2.4 or 5 GHz. And depending on where you live, either one could potentially be good for you. So generally I'll be recommending the 2.4 GHz one, as for mobile network purposes it might not be the best, but mobile network is also not the best, so it's going to do just fine. But it gives you the kind of peace of mind that whatever device you'll grab to connect to this hotspot with will support it. So you don't need to worry about it. Ooh, does this device actually support it or not? Will I see this hotspot or not? So it just gives you this kind of versatility to it. But just know, in grand scheme of things, it's not the best by no means. It is literally the first kind of Wi-Fi that you ever saw. So if you have a old laptop, as an example, that you bought, I don't know, 2 decades ago, if it said Wi-Fi, well, it supports this one. Most certainly will not be supporting the 5 GHz one though. But 5 GHz also has its place, particularly I believe if you live in a densely populated areas, maybe something like New York City. So in those cases, what sometimes might happen is the 2.4 GHz network will get super congested. There's going to be a lot of signals on this frequency, and they will start interfering with one another. And this happens just because not everyone might be using, hotspots or just, Wi-Fi routers. It also has to do with, for instance, smart home appliances. A lot of things like light bulbs and stuff like this will use Wi-Fi, specifically the 2.4 frequency, to connect to your smart home and be able to be toggled on through applications, stuff like that. And this creates a massive traffic on the 2.4 gigahertz frequency, which therefore could potentially result in you having problems keeping connection to your device to this hotspot, or maybe receiving internet. I personally have never experienced this, so I don't know what to actually look for or what actually happens. But I would expect that some kind of dropouts would be probably the things that I would expect might be happening. Now in those cases, you can switch to the 5 GHz, and this will for the most part resolve most of those problems, as 5 GHz frequency is much more open, accommodating. It's like a highway when it comes down to like comparison. So you have one lane, one direction kind of road compared to a highway, 5 GHz being the highway, so you can have the same amount of signals and they just won't be interfering with one another, which is one of the benefits right here. There's also some other ones, like for instance the speed of the network is faster, though for mobile network you're probably going to be bottlenecked by the service provider. The latency is better, which again, service provider will be the bottleneck on your phone. And additionally, what else we have? Latency, speeds, devices, how many devices can be connected to this network, but again, for phone purposes this doesn't really matter. And that's really all the things that have kind of like an improvement. Like I said, when it comes down to mobile networks, this is just primarily going to be your mobile network will be the bottleneck for this, not the type of network you're using. The 5 gigahertz is an improvement, but you know, if you can't use it, for instance, number one, the 5 gigahertz, then that doesn't give you any kind of benefit. And additionally, if your network is only your provider is going to be providing you with 30 megabits per second of actual internet, just because you're broadcasting at, I don't know, 500, let's say that 5 gigahertz allows you to, won't break the laws of physics and provide more internet than you're actually receiving. So again, this isn't really an improvement in most certain cases. So I personally like to stick with the 2.4, as this is just kind of like a safe option. And one last option that I want to talk about is the turn off hotspot automatically. This will disconnect from this will turn off your hotspot when no devices are connected. So again, if you're using that laptop and you're, I don't know, in a cafe, done using, close the lid, it will go into sleep mode and probably automatically also disconnect from your hotspot, therefore triggering the timer, as this is on a timer. And after the timer runs out, your device will just automatically turn it off. And this is nice because your hotspot does consume more of your phone's battery, so this just preserves it a little bit. So anyway, let's find that toggle now. There we go. And tap on it whenever we want to use it. And once again, once you're done using it, you can just, I don't know, disconnect from it, or you can actually go in here and turn it off. I do want to check one thing. There's one thing to also keep in mind on this device specifically. So hotspot right here uses the same antennas as Wi-Fi. So you can see right now it's on Wi-Fi. If I turn on hotspot, it automatically turns off Wi-Fi, as it needs to use the same antennas, and it cannot do two of these things at the same time. So it basically swaps them around. So one goes off while the other one gets turned on. If I try to turn it on, hotspot is automatically off now. Now, this is going to be very important if your service provider has a data cap limit on how much you can use per month. And if you have such a thing, either, number one, figure out which one of these you have, either the one where it gets automatically renewed even though month hasn't ended, and gets charged extra, which I haven't encountered such a thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if it exists. Or potentially you just get what I experienced myself. When you surpass the limit that you get, the provider just kind of cuts you off, technically still providing internet to you, but at like 1 kilobit per second, which virtually makes it unusable. So that's one thing that you would want to know. And the second one is how much actual data you have per month. This will then allow you to go into the settings and then into the network and internet, I believe. SIM and mobile network. Gonna click on our SIM card, I think, right? And we're going to be looking for SIM mobile network. No. Looking for the limits right now. There should be some way to set it up. Might not be in here. So I think it's right here under SIM for mobile data. And you can see right here we have our SIM1 selected, data saver right now, and we have data warning and limits. So data warning will just let you know that you have surpassed specific kind of point of how much data you used, but other than that it won't really do much. And here it shows you that it's when you use about 2 gigabytes. Now this is for both mobile hotspot purposes and just mobile network in general. But it's only going to affect mobile network, not Wi-Fi connections. And the second one, set data limit, will allow you to set a hard cap to how much data you can use. This is going to be particularly useful if you don't want to be left with zero internet on your device for the rest of the month, or specifically also if you get that option where you get rebuild extra for surpassing the cap, which I don't know if such a thing exists, but if it does, you most certainly want to set a limit right here. But also, like I said, for using more or using the full kind of, let's say, 5 gigabytes that you might be getting per month, if you use that and you then get 1 kilobit per second, it might be best to maybe go in here and then that limit set something like 4.5 maybe, if I can. Yep, I can. So I would still have half a gigabyte left, which I could go in here, turn that off if I have a need to actually use that half a gigabyte. But with this, you will not surpass the limit. Therefore, you will still have your normal speeds, meaning that you can access your internet for emergency purposes. So anyway, that's basically everything that there is to it. So I hope you found this very helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.